each person that prayed, I could feel it. Boom, wall broke. Another wall, another wall, another wall. And then that last man prayed for me. And he said, God has a purpose for you. He said, you are not useless. God has a purpose. My name is Daren Storm. I'm 21 years old, and I'm from Rockport, Indiana. I grew up in church as long as I can remember. Ever since I've had memory, I've always been in church. When I was younger, about third grade, I'm not sure quite the age, but I went to church camp, and they had us come forward and were like, if you feel like you have that calling for ministry, come up. And I had it prophesied over me that I would be called into ministry. Now, at that time, I was just called into ministry, but I had the dead set objective on children's ministry. I just felt like, that's what I wanted to do, almost the easier route. And then as I got older, ministry over time is just like, that's not what I wanted to do. And church over time has just become more of a mandatory thing my family made me do instead of something that I actually wanted to do. I dreaded waking up. There was times I'd be laying in bed in the morning, hope my parents didn't wake up like we're still asleep by that time so that we didn't have to go to church like they overslept. So, I just got that. I did a bunch of running, especially in high school. Once I got to high school, I got into, alcohol, drugs, anything. I was just trying to fill that void that only God can fill, but I didn't want God at that point. Well, I would say close to the end of last year, probably October, November, I came down with this really horrible sickness in my throat. At first, I thought I was just maybe overeating because it also caused pain in my stomach, and I was just like, it's whatever. But over time, it got worse and worse, and it led to me coughing, uncontrollable coughing, because the sickness was so bad I couldn't get a conversation without it. When it almost felt like a lump in my throat. And I was like, that's weird. I always thought I had something in my throat. And I was like, maybe I just have something stuck and that's what's causing it. Well, eventually the coughing got so bad, I went to the doctor and they felt around, and one touch on my neck she felt, and she's like, oh yeah, your thyroid there's something there. At first, it was originally thought to be cancer. And I was like, well, if it's cancer, there's not much else I can do. So they ordered for a biopsy. I went and got a biopsy, and they figured out it was Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Hashimoto's thyroiditis is pretty much just a goiter in your thyroid, and it just pretty much means your thyroid's out of commission forever. It'll never work again. You have to be on constant replacements for everything that it provides your body. There's just nothing you can do. So I was just dead set on whatever. It caused weight gain. There was a discomfort. There was times, you could see the lump. Like, she didn't even have to feel it. She could just tell whenever she saw that you could see the lump on my throat. And it just led to, like I said, discomfort. I made it to where I couldn't eat much. I had no energy for anything. I just wanted to sleep. Made work miserable because I didn't want to do anything. That went on for about 6 months. And then I have a good buddy named Caleb, and he invited me out to go to Antioch down in Georgia. It's a church for a conference. And at that time, I was still running. I was like, I just, didn't really want to mess with anything. But I was free that weekend. I had nothing to do. So I was like, sure, why not? So, we went down together. And Antioch was a very good experience. I didn't go in there just doing whatever. I was like, let's give this another shot. This is my last try for if I'm even going to, consider following God. So I went in there. I gave it my best, and it was an amazing experience. First night I prayed, worshipped. I got refilled with the Holy Ghost. That I haven't spoken in tongues in probably 8 to 9 years since then, and God reopened that for me. And then it came to the last night, and I just felt the conviction all night of my past, of all the drinking I've done, the drugs, everything. It was just all this, and I was like, I just feel that conviction. Well, the leader over it, I can't remember his name. I'm really bad with names, but he called everyone up, 18 to 35. I'm pretty sure that was the age range, and he was like, just come up here and we're going to pray for you. Now, granted, I didn't know any of these people. I didn't tell them nothing. I just went up there and closed my eyes, and I prayed silently to myself. Well, each person that came up prayed exactly for what I needed. I had walls in between me and God that I knew were there, but I knew that they needed to be broken down, but I felt like I needed that assistance from the family in the church, from the people there to help me break those walls down. And each person that prayed, I could feel it. Boom, wall broke. Another wall, another wall, another wall. And then that last man prayed for me. And he said, God has a purpose for you. He said, you are not useless. God has a purpose. And I battled with that daily. Like, why am I on this earth? I mean, I've had several times in my life where I attempted to take my life. I mean, I just didn't have a purpose. And deep down, I knew it was because I needed God. But on the surface, I was like, I don't need God. It's just, something else will fix that feeling. And that last, I fell to my knees in tears after he said, you have a purpose. And also that night was, I got prophesied over that my Hashimoto's thyroiditis would be healed. And I was like, if God said it, it's going to be done. So after I was prophesied over that I would be healed, I stopped taking my medication. While most times it's probably not the best idea because, if it's a serious medication, you're not going to want to stop taking it unless. But I felt from God, he was like, you don't need this anymore. So unless you are being told from God directly that you need to stop taking your medication, I wouldn't suggest it until that healing is done, which God will do. If he prophesies it, it's going to happen. There's no like, oh, maybe he just won't do it. Maybe he won't. Maybe I'm just hearing things. If you hear from God, which you'll know when it's God, he will heal you if it's prophesied. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You will be healed. So we went to the service at that church that next Sunday morning, and then that Sunday night we went to the North Georgia revival. Me and Caleb did, and it was very good. The service was good, the worship was amazing, and then they called for baptism, and I signed up for baptism along with Caleb. Went and I got changed and everything because they provided clothes, and once I got into the waters, he asked me what it was for, and I let him know everything. I let him know about my Hashimoto's thyroiditis, my addictions, everything. And I gave it all to God. And whenever I went under, I could feel 95% of that swelling of that thyroid go down. But I haven't taken my medication since then. I haven't had sickness. I've been able to lose weight, which I haven't been able to do. I gained over almost 110 pounds just from this thyroiditis. There's no other explanation besides God. God is all-powerful. This could never have happened. I was to be on a constant replacement. I probably would have gained so much weight to where I almost went immobile because I was gaining almost 5 pounds a day. So none of this was possible without God. God is good. Everything he does is good. He's just shown me that. And I've fallen so many times, and he's right there with his hand out, ready to pick me right back up every time. There's no explanation for anything in my life that isn't God. I'm here because of God. Those walls that were broken down, each one I could see alcoholism, drugs, pornography. Just a jealousy. I've had a jealousy of people. It's just because if I see somebody happy, because I was miserable. So if I saw somebody happy, that wall, that was probably my strongest wall is the jealousy. Because it's just like, that I've always been jealous of people because of their happiness, because deep down I wasn't. I had no joy, I had no happiness, no peace, because I didn't have God. But each one, even though I said that jealousy was the hardest, it went down as easy as the rest, because it was God that was knocking them down. Whenever I was running from God, I probably started about, I would say, 4th grade. And I'm 21 now, and like I said, there was a couple times I would come back, and like I said, 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, and I would be on fire, and then I would just extinguished instantly because I would just stop trying. I would stop because he meet me halfway, but I would stop seeking his face. And when you stop seeking God's face, that's when that fire slowly starts to dwindle out. My mindset was changed on how I went from running from him to seeking him, just because it's pretty much that conference. Like, I felt his presence when I was younger. I felt his presence in church sometimes, but he was just there beside me the whole time. I walked in those doors and I felt conviction. And conviction is not a bad thing. Conviction is a good thing. That's how you know God's there. And God is still working with you. God is always going to pull on your heart. He's going to always try. You might run. You might be like, I don't know. But God is going to try and get his children. So, I mean, it was just being there, and it was just he gave me that security of just, I'm here for you. You don't need this stuff. This stuff you might think fills your void, might give you happiness, but I'm here for you. And he has given me a pure happiness. I mean, I used to be, even before the Hashimoto's thyroiditis, I mean, I hated going into work because I was just like, I hate it here. I don't want to be here. I don't have that issue because it's like God blessed me with a job. God gives me the ability to get up out of bed and go to work. And some people don't have that luxury because some people deal with different stuff, and it's just he's given me a luxury of being able to get up and go to work, even if it's not the most luxurious job in the world. Like I said, since I've always ran, but I've always felt like I've had that hand on my shoulder, being like, you might not want me, but I want you. Like you're running away, you're constantly avoiding me, but when you fall, I'll be right here to pick you up.